What's up guys, Jay here, live vape and chill, LVC reviews, vape final reviewer, what's happening, also co-host of Savs. So today I've got for you a mod review. So this mod review is rev-tech. So this is the REV SPORT 101 watt mod. So yeah, we're going to be reviewing that today. I've got three of these devices. So I've got the RevTech Sport, the Nitro, and the GTS. They was given to me kindly by RevTech themselves for purpose of this review. So without further ado, let's get into the review. I'm going to take you down low. We're going to have a little look at the box and a few specifications. Then I'm going to bring it up top. I'm going to try a couple of different tanks and a dripper on there just to see how things perform. And then I'll give you my verdict. So without further ado, let's go down low and let's have a look, shall we? So this is the REV Sport. This is the blue version. It comes in a variety of different colors. Inside it has the Venom 1.1 chip. It's not, in this mod, it's not the most powerful chip, but we'll get into that in a little while. I have had this for quite a while, and I have been testing it vigorously for the last couple of weeks, along with the other two. So, let's open this up. So, you take off the nice sleeve. Oh, here we go. We've got some information on the back here. We've got the colour sky blue. You've got the Venom logo on there. Also, you've got the contents of the box. If I can get it to focus.
Focus! Focus! Focus!
Out! 101 watt mod. Random number. USB charger. Different grills and a keyring. It tells you all the information on there about the specifications and the features of that. We'll get into that into a little while. You've got all the relevant warnings on there that you'd expect to see. Barcode, batch number, RevTech Sport, all the information, where it's made, also social media at RevTech Mods. Excuse me, I am a little bit tongue-tied in this one. Tells you a little bit on the side about you can customize the colors on the screen. So yeah, there we go. Tells you about the face plates and that I'll get into in a little while. So let's open the box and let's get down to it. Quirky little box. Opens like a boot lid, or bonnet should I say, not a boot lid. Opens up like a bonnet, and inside you're greeted with a user manual, the mod, a key ring. But I've just got to say, it's not an actual key ring as such. It is a key ring, but there's no actual key ring. You've just got a little bit of a rubber that you have to put your own key ring onto. So yeah, you got a little hole there where you have to supply your own keychain for it, but nevertheless it's still a key ring. We have got the mod. Let's take out the box there. So here we go. You've got a little bit of a box underneath, and this has got the USB charging cable, micro USB should I say. Yeah, so that's inside, all provided for you. It seems quite thick, quite a good quality cable. I haven't actually used it because I've got tons of these lying around. So let's get out with the mod. So with the mod, there's the mod itself. Quite a decent little mod, as you can see. It is a little bit grubby. I have been using it, as you can see, but excuse that. I had to use it for the purposes of testing. And inside we have some bonnets. So these are customizable and interchangeable. You can take the bonnet off. Let's move that out of the way a little bit. Let's get this in shot. You can take the bonnets off, basically, and change them. Grills, I think they're called. Well, with my one already, it's brand new in the box, and when I opened it, oh, it's stuck in there now. That's the first. No, it come out. So there we go. That's that bit. One little thing. To be honest with you, I don't know why they've done this. Like, in all honesty, okay, it's a little bit gimmicky, a little bit quirky in that you can customize it to a certain degree with them, but for me, I'm neither here nor there when it comes to these, to be honest with you. So let's get down and have a look at the actual mod itself, shall we? So on the side here you have the fire button, which is on the corner. It's got like a little bit of knurling, like it's grippy and like little dotty bits there. So it is a top corner firing button. You have got the up and down buttons, you've got a menu button and a charging port. Okay, so on the other side you just got some vent holes, grills there, 510 stainless steel 510 ring there, which looks to be relatively small. It does sit up a little bit proud, so you're not gonna get any anti-rash on the paintwork there. Let me try and find something just to, I should have had all this set up, bear with me guys. Ceramic tweezers. So a nice spring on the 510 there. Don't know if you can see, focus, god damn it. There we go. So it does move quite freely. There is quite a bit of give in that as well. So spring loaded 510. With this mod, I find it's to say it looks like quite blocky and quite squared. The corners have been like taken off, so it is okay feeling in the end. It's not too bad. Button on this mod, because the way where your fingers are set, like it is in quite a decent place. You can just fire it with your thumb or your trigger finger if you really wanted to. Yeah, so it's right-handed in this side with your thumb, and then left-handed if you're using the trigger finger. So it's 5 clicks to turn it on. When you turn it on, let me just get into the menu a sec. Oh, here we go. So let me just get into the menu, which is hold this one down, and then we're just going to turn it off. So with this mod, you've got the face plates which are coloured. So these are the different ones are different colours. So this is the sky blue one. I'm not too sure of the other colours, so I'm not going to mention them. With this though, if this was a dual 18650 mod, which it's not, it's a built-in 4200 milliamp hour battery, this door would probably come off, and that's where you put the batteries. But saying that, I don't know why, but this door does not seem to be fitting flush. I've got like quite a bit of a lip there, as you can see. For me, that is not very good in all respects. Like, I don't like the feel of that. Like, they should have done something a little bit better, maybe put a screw in there or something. I'm not too sure, but for me that's just, I don't know, lacking on a bit of the quality there. I can get my nail right under that. Like, I just feel like I want to just pop it off and change the batteries, but obviously I can't. So yes, for this one, I'm not too pleased about that door, but I don't know if the rest are the same. This is actually one of the not the pre-sale ones. This is actually the retail version. It's not like some of the other reviewers got. That was the non-retail version. It was the testing one, which didn't have the user manual in. This one did. But for me, they could have like neatened that up a little bit and made that a little bit more flush. But as you can even hear it. Listen, like I can get my finger and I can grab it all the way down that bottom, even around the side bit here. It sticks proud, like all the way. It just doesn't seem to sit flush. in all honesty, it doesn't make it feel any different. It's just one of them niggly things that I found when I was using it and I was looking around it, like giving it an in-depth look. And to me, it's just a bit of a poor quality thing on the back there. But, you know, it is what it is. Decent looking mod. Looks like, I don't know, it looks like something out of Star Trek, one of them, yeah, beam me up Scotty jobbies. But anyway, nevertheless, the bonnets that come off, you can interchange them at the top there. For whatever reason it is, I don't know, because it doesn't let me get one of these out, preferably not the broken one. In all honesty, it doesn't change it. Oh, fucking hell. It was difficult to get out. It doesn't really change the look too much, if I'm honest. Like, I don't know. So, that's, I don't know. Car bonnets, making it customizable. Okay, you're making it customizable, but in all honesty, there's no need for that. There is a strong magnet on there, so it does stay in play. There is a little bit of a rattle, but that's to do with the button. That's in there quite solid. So now let's turn this on. 5 clicks on. There we go. And then you're met with a menu, and it will say basic user and advanced user. So we're set on advanced user. I do like the way that you can customize the screen. It has got a clock on there. You can focus, god damn it.
Focus! Focus! Focus!
Out! Focus. Oh, I don't know what's going on with this camera, but anyway, I'm going to show you the features how you can customize the dial there. So you can actually change the color of the dial. I like this feature better than the bonnet feature, if I'm all honest with you. So if you've got a tank on there that is like a black tank and you've got like different colored O-rings or different color drip tip, you can match the actual screen dial color with that. Makes it a bit more accessorizing for me. Like I said, I prefer the actual feature that you can change the dial color rather than changing the bonnet. To me, that does nothing. It is a little bit rattly also, but anyway, nevertheless. So with this, I do like the feature that when you fire it up, I'm going to put an old something on here and I can show you what I mean. So this is I don't even know what this is. So this is an old Tesla RDA. So I'm just gonna show you what it does. So when you fire it up, I do like the fact that the rev counter goes round. You can see it there. If I can get this epoxy camera to focus. There you go. So it is only a 7-second timeout on this one, which ain't that bad. I don't know anyone that's going to vote for 7 seconds in a row. You've got your other features on the screen as well. Please bear with me with this epoxy camera. This is a new camera that I am actually using. So you have got your battery indicator at the bottom. It tells you what mode you're in, power mode. You have got your battery indicator, your ohms, your voltage, puff counter, 4 puffs on there it says, and you've got your watts just there. For me, I would like to have seen like a few of these features a little bit bigger, because I'm having trouble flipping focusing in on this. But anyway, so to turn it up and down, you literally push the up and down button and it turns it up and down, moving in 1 watt increments all the way from 5 to 101. Random number, I know, but still It doesn't round robin, but it gets there quite quick. So it's quite decent in the speed of things of moving it up and down power wise. So there are quite a lot of features on this. So in order to get into the menu, you've got the menu button here, which also coincidentally it changes the color of the screen. I do apologize for this bad camera. So there we go, you can see the color of the screen changing. In order to get into the menu, you just push and hold that, changes into the menu, and here we are met with a number of options. So to scroll up and down, you use the plus and the minus keys. For the power, let me see if I can get this to focus a little bit better. There we go. So we have got it's in power mode. You got power mode, you got bypass mode, preheat, so you can preheat cores, I suppose. You've got the color mode, so in order to do that you push the fire button to select. So hold the menu button, cycle through the menus with the up and down, and then to select the menu you push the fire button, and it's gone out. Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's how you change the color of the ring outside the screen, I suppose. Push and hold the fire button and it goes back to the previous menu. So dashboard, let's have a look. So you can have different dashboards. I don't know what they are, so let's just change it to dashboard 3. Let's have a look. Yes, I want to change it to dashboard 3. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Display mode. Okay, so display mode, okay, so you've got 10 seconds, 30 seconds, or always on. There we go, so it's 10 seconds. We have brightness, so let's select that. Okay, so you can adjust the brightness of the screen, I suppose. There you go. Quiet down there one. Okay. So literally for me just there, it is quite bright, but it doesn't seem to change until you get to like here, and then you can noticeably see it changing. So from the top, the top quarter of it you don't really see. So anyway, let's put it at full brightness. Back out to the menu. I am really wobbly today, I do apologise. I am still getting to grips to where the camera is been pointing. So time settings, let's have, oh, that's to set your time. Whoop. So time settings, so you can actually adjust the time. Okay, just literally up and down arrows. Factory reset and turn off. So yeah, pretty much quite standard. So when you go into your power settings, you've got your different temperature control modes. You've got your stainless steel, your titanium, your nickel, and your temperature resistance. Please excuse me, I'm a little bit dumb when it comes to temperature mode. I'm just straight power, that's it. So without further ado, let's just hold that for 2 seconds, get back out the menu, hold that for 2 seconds, get back out the menu. Oh, there's the screen. Okay, so now we've changed the screen. There's no needle in the middle, it's just a digital clock that goes around the outside. Okay, so it is quite standard, like screen wise. It does look alright. Fucking focus, for God's sake. There we go. So yeah, let's see what it does, if it changes colour. No, yes, it does change colour as you rev up. Okay, so there we go. That's pretty much the download version of it. So let's take it up top and let's put a tank on it, and then we shall have a look, shall we? So now we're back up top. I've got the mod. It is quite a decent sized mod. It feels quite weighty for what it is. That door bit at the back, that isn't a door, that's actually bugging me a little bit.
Bugging you is easy 'cause you're buggable. And bugging you is all I ever wanna do.
Pretty much there's nothing I can do. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be trying a few different like devices on here, tank wise and ATI wise. So first of all, I am going to try my TFV12 prints. Sorry, I've got to talk up to the camera. Just bear with me a second. Let me just move a few of these things. I have been having a beer, so that's probably why I'm slurring a little bit. But anyway, I've got a beer. I'm just going to top up. Oh, that's the last of that bit. Some Wild Bill's IPA. Lovely. American style IPA. Ooh, quite fruity this one. Quite fruity to smell. And quite malty to taste. What the fuck am I doing? Let's get back to the review of the mod, shall we? And not the beer. I watch too much fake reviewers that drink. I really do. So on here we have got the TFV12 prints, and the coil I believe is the T10 coil. I am going to push this up to 50 watts, and then I'm going to hit it. In all honesty, battery life on this ain't too shabby. To be fair, it's not shabby at all. 42 milliamp hour, 4200 milliamp hour battery. Charging takes a little while. Takes a good few hours to fully charge, but it will last you the day, doing about 50-60 watts. So this is a TFV12 Prince tank. I'm gonna hit this up at 50 watts, and we're just gonna see. In all honesty, it doesn't feel like 50 watts, not one bit. Okay, this coil probably runs at a minimum of probably about 60-70 watts. So let's bump this up. Let's bump this up to, okay, we're on 65 watts. Now let's see how this performs on this at 65 watts. It just doesn't pack that punch. It really doesn't. Like, I would expect it to be a little bit more powerful with the punch that comes out. It's just not packing it for me. So now let's turn this up to about, okay, so we're on 82 watts. Let's see how it bears up on this one. $82 watts feels more like about 50-55 sort of watts to me. Is a little better, but I have got to say it is going to drain the battery quite hard, just because you're running at such a power like that. So now let's change to, so now I'm going to change to the Bonza RDA. Let's have a little look, see. Bonza. So this is the Bonza, my black Bonza. It is ohming in, see, for me as well, the digits on the screen are just too small on the bottom. I'd have liked to have seen the information a little bit bigger. You've got all that clock there doing nothing apart from telling you how many seconds you've been hitting for. Aesthetically, looks good, but functionality of it, it's just a waste of screen space where they could have been putting them digits there, the battery power, the ohms power, the battery power bar, the ohms resistance, and puff counter. Maybe not the puff counter so much, but like your watts in power, your resistance, and your battery, they could have been quite a bit bigger. They're really, really tiny. really, really tiny. Focus, god damn it. Oh, me and this focusing malarkey just isn't going on. But as you can see in the blur, see, that's how small they are. I don't think it's focusing properly just because of that. Because it's focused on the mod, it just can't focus on the screen properly because it's that small. That's why I was having a problem down low, because the mod is actually quite focused, actually. So that tells you how small they are. Just there, that's all your information there. All this here, all that is just a waste of like screen space. Okay, it looks nice when you're revving it up and whatnot, yeah, but for me, that just could have been in the background, and I could have had them display characters that I need more. Like, because when you're vaping on it, you ain't going to be looking at the time anyway. It just looks good for other people to look at. That's pretty much it. For me, I would have liked to have seen them other icons and other useful bits of information that when I'm looking at the screen bigger. I've got bad eyes as it is, so I needed them bigger in all honesty. So we are running at a 0.4. 0.4. No, we're not. We're running at a 0.14. Sort your shit out. I'm sorting it. Okay. Here we go. On that note. So yeah, it's running at a 0.14. This is a set of Shane Wiseman's alien coils in there. Big boy coils. And let's strip this up with... So that is at 86 watts. It does seem to be quite feisty, but when I first started this review, it was on 3/4 of a battery. I've only had a good 5 or 6 hits off of the prints from like 50 watts to 80 watts, and it's already gone down from 3/4 to half. So the more power you put like this, you want to get out of this, the battery just drains down quite quickly. So what are we gonna do? Let's put some iCloud desserts, some appleberry pie crumble, appleberry crumble, that's the one. So let's whack this up on here, and I'm gonna take this all the way to the top at 101. Oh my god, this is just diabolical. I just can't even speak. I'm not drinking when I'm doing reviews again. Yep. Right, so let's just hit this at the 86 first and see how we get on. See how this bears up. Doesn't quite pack that punch, like... For these coils, 0.14, I'm getting splatter up of the juice off the coils. It's not quite hot enough to vaporize the liquid quick enough, so I'm just going to run this at max and see what we get. We've got half a bar battery on there. Let's have a good few chugs of this and then see how it performs. (101 watts). In all fairness, more like 70-75 watts. Running at maximum capacity does a bit more justice for what's running on the top there right now. It just doesn't pack that punch. So if you're wanting to run like a dripper on here or a tank on here at say 70-80 watts, it just isn't going to cut it. You've got to run it at full capacity just to get anything like 3/4 of what you would normally get capacity wise, if that makes sense to you. So running at 101 watts, it just feels like 70-75 watts to me. It's not that powerful. Also, you're putting a great strain. I can feel the battery getting warm on the back door. You're putting a tremendous strain on this battery. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a very powerful device. It is only 101 watts. A random number, I keep saying, I know, but you know, they could have made this a 150 watt device easily. It probably would have been a little bit better. You wouldn't have been running it at maximum capacity if you had to run it at 100 watts to run a dripper. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put on the Vandy Vape Berserker. I've got some Nick salts in this. I have been using it for a little while for the past, like I've tried the tank on it for a good few days, then I tried the dripper on it for a good few days, and for the past like few days I've been using the Nick salts with the Vandy Vape Berserker, and I have only been running this at about 18 watts. So let's put this up to 18 watts. So the build that I've got in here is just the stock proprietary coils that come in the box with the Berserker, and it ohms in at, oh my, I can't even see it, that's how small it is. Point 0.2, it's either 0.28 or 0.2 ohms. No, I lied. I can't even see it, it's that fucking small. My eyes, do you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to get my mobile phone out to increase the screen size. Anybody that knows me knows I've got bad eyesight anyway, but on the flip side of that, it just doesn't help with this screen. So let's have a look. Let's see what we're running on. Okay, so it's a 0.64 actually. That's what it's running at. 0.64. So there we go. Screen for me not very good. I had to get my phone out to look at it. Like, I can just about make out the power setting in watts. I can just about make out the battery. It's just all too small, too bunched up in that bottom corner when they could have utilised the space of the screen a little bit more. And they could have set out, like maybe in firmware updates they can change the screen and set it out so the font's a bit bigger and the rev counter goes around the outside but without any numbers, and you've got the other informational stuff that you actually really need, like a little bit bigger within that arc of the rev counter, maybe, but we'll see what happens on that front. So this is the Berserker from Vandy Vape, and it's got my nicotine salts in, running at the standard stock coil that come in the box at a 0.64, and it's on 18 watts. Now for me, it performs a lot better on a nice little mouth to lung RTA, like down low. In all honesty, I think that's probably all that this mod is good for, really. Just hits the spot nicely. You don't need too much power to run it. The battery running at this sort of power will probably last you a couple of days, so that's a good thing about it. So yeah. It performs a hell of a lot better on this low wattage mouth to lung setup that I've got. In all honesty, it's a bit too heavy for me to be running this on a daily as a mouth to lung setup. I want something quite stealthy, quite small. Although it does fit in the palm of my hand. Some people say I've got big hands. I don't know, but you know, it does, like, I can conceal it sort of in the palm of my hand. Like, it don't stick out the bottom. You can't really see the top. It's just a tank that sticks out the top. You know, it is quite weighty for what it is. That being said, I don't know if it's metal or plastic. I know the back plate and the front plates are aluminium. I know that. The chassis I'm not too sure of. Paintwork, half decent. I've been using it quite hard for a little while and I've not had no issues with the paintwork. It's still relatively good on there. Okay, it is a little bit, you know, VG'd up and that, but I have been putting it through its paces. Screen brightness on the screen is decent. Just the screen is just lacking, like, the size of the information. For people with bad eyes, they're gonna struggle to see this. So pros: quite a weighty device, quite a sort of stealthy device, runs good with a mouth to lung like tank on top, RTA. So if you've got if you got this for a nice mouth to lung setup, it will run it perfectly. I like the idea that you can change the color of the dial, but having said that, that takes away the practicality of the rest of it for the digits for your other information that you need. Left-handed trigger finger fire, quite good, so the screen's facing out. Right-handed thumb button fire, quite comfortable both ways in my opinion. It's set in a nice place. Like, for the shape of the device, it's set in a nice place actually. It's not too bad in both hands at all. Buttons are quite nice and big on the side, so you know, I have the plus and the minus like etched in there that it can actually focus on is actually bigger than the writing on that screen that this can't actually focus on. So there you go. Menu button quite out the way, so you're not gonna like push the menu button accidentally. Like, these are flush sitting, so there's no chance of pushing them when you're holding the mod. With the fire button, it does protrude a little bit, but not too much. It's got a nice grippy knurly bit on there, like, you know, the little bumpy bits on there, so it has got a little bit of grip on there. It looks alright. I'm kind of liking the look of it. It's quite like nice, like I said, in the hand. So they're the cons, the pros, sorry. Now to the cons. The cons are obviously that screen. That screen does nothing for me. I cannot read the information on there. It doesn't hit in the higher wattage range. It doesn't hit as hard as what it's saying on the screen, if you can read what it says. So 101 watts felt more like 70-75 watts at the most. Seriously. This back door bit, it just protrudes all the way around. I'm not liking that at all. So there are some pros and there are some cons. Pro being, I probably will use this as my little mouth to lung setup just for a little while longer, just until something else comes along, just because it's here. And it does a decent job at running the low watts setup. So yeah, I don't know. All in all, I'd probably give this a 5 out of 10 if I'm honest, and I think I'm being generous at that. It's not the worst mod I've ever had. See, like, it's really difficult just because it does actually feel quite nice in the hand. I ain't gonna deny that fact at all. It feels quite nice and heavy, well sort of made, like device built wise. But saying that, it just lacks the punch. Although it is a 101 watt mod, I would have expected it to have performed a little bit better than what it did. When I was running at full power with the Bonnets RDA, I could feel the battery getting warm through the back plate. I could actually feel it warming up all down this bit here. Running it low is quite decent. So I think for me, I'm going to class this as an MTL setup, mouth to lung setup. That's what I'm going to class this as, because it runs far better at that. So you get yourself a nice little Nautilus 2 or Nautilus X on there. Even with this, it performs quite well at a low wattage, so I'm quite pleased with that fact. But obviously, that's where we're at. Would I go out and buy this? In all honesty, I don't know. I just don't know, because I do like the feel of it. If I was purposely going out to buy a setup for a mouth to lung or a low wattage setup, then yeah, it's ideal. But if I do like big tanks, drippers and all that as well, mainly, I only do mouth to lung now and again when I want Nick Salt fixes and stuff like that. So in all honesty, I probably wouldn't go out and buy this for a device like that. Having said that, it's perfect for a nice little low wattage mouth to lung sort of device. Bit heavy on that side of things, like it's like a bit overkill for that, but it's very underkill for like a bigger setup. So that's where I'm at. I do thank Rev RevTech mods for like giving me these mods. I have got 2 other mods to review. I've got the Nitro and I've got the GTS coming up. So keep this space peeled and they will be coming up soon. So yeah, without further ado, let's have another toot on it. And then I'm going to say adios, amigos, for now. It's just perfect for that nice little... It performs so much better as a low wattage. I've been Jay. This has been LVC Reviews, live vape and chill. Suburb or go home. Hey, peace out, people. Catch you in the next video. Vape on and vape safe. Peace.